Hi, my name is Nina. I am the holistic health coach at the Lighthouse YMCA in Sandpoint, and welcome to week 4 of Heart Healthy Month. Hopefully, you have gained a lot of other information from my associates from previous weeks this month, and you've started your health journey. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about nutrition today, but also more emotional and mental health along with heart health, because it's a little more complex than that. And so thank you. Excuse the background. We are under construction. We live in a construction zone, so. But like I said, the why thought it would be important for us to share in some ways to become healthier. And while some of my associates may have spoken about nutrition, I'm going to speak to you a little bit more about other aspects of a healthy heart. Nutrition is exceptionally important for a healthy heart, but it's also important to note that having an emotionally healthy heart is equally as important. Being healthy isn't just about exercise and nutrition. It's about the whole person, not just physical health, but also mental, emotional, and spiritual. To me, it's pretty difficult to speak about health if we don't include all those aspects of it. I include it when I work with my clients at the Y and outside of the Y, and it's most of the time doesn't really have much to do with food. There are a lot of old patterns and behaviors that contribute to the patterns of food, but it rarely has anything to do with food itself. So that's what I'm going to talk to you about a little bit, but also at the same time, I'm going to talk to you about how nutrition can affect those other aspects. The physical body is not separate from the non-physical body. They each affect the other. So if you're eating right, exercising regularly, sleeping well, drinking water, etc., but your work is stressful, your relationships are strained, and you're constantly in a fight or flight mode throughout your day, then you're not entirely healthy and are quite frankly out of balance. Because if you have one aspect of your life is really on point, but the other aspects are just kind of all over the place, then you're out of balance. So while it might not seem like a big deal on the surface, what's happening below the surface is actually, what's important that the blood tests can't report, and the doctors can't necessarily see with the naked eye. So it's important to pay attention to the non-physical body. I'll give you an example. I struggled myself for years, pretty much most of my life, with my weight, and nothing I was doing was helping. I was pretty much overweight well into adulthood, since I was about 5 or 6 years old. And I got really healthy in terms of exercise and nutrition. I counted calories. I had rigorous exercise programs, but nothing ever helped. I was consistently overweight. I had my thyroid checked, everything. Nothing was wrong. The blood work didn't reveal anything. And it wasn't until I realized that I was burning my candle at both ends, and I was having a very, very out of balance life. Everything was just work, school, go home, work, school, go home, work, school, go home. I had no life outside of that. And I, quite frankly, towards the end of that period of my life, I kind of realized I'm not even actually all that happy. I'm working towards goals, but I'm not genuinely happy. So at least with my life, in terms of fulfillment, I was happy with all the goals I was accomplishing, but my heart was not fulfilled. So it wasn't until I made a major life change and totally did a 180 that the weight just came off, and it came off quickly, and I wasn't even trying. And I wasn't even working that hard at counting calories anymore or exercising all that much. But I got myself to a place where I could breathe. I could feel like I'm not doing stuff that I really don't want to be doing anymore. I wasn't doing stuff that was just constantly stressing me to no end. So that's when it hit me. Hey, it's really not so much the physical all the time. It's the mental and the emotional. So that was my experience with it. And I imagine it's the same for a lot of people out there because of the society that we live in. And, we're constantly expected to work harder, faster, better than the person next to us, or, like basically just constantly be in that fight or flight mode. And that's part of the problem when we live in this society that we do, and other countries don't necessarily live the way ours does. We are in this constant state of high stress, the fight or flight, the sympathetic nervous system. And we rarely come down, even during our sleep. We rarely come down from that sympathetic fight or flight frame of mind. It's in the parasympathetic, the rest and restore, that we can calm, like be at peace and in balance. And very few of us do that. A lot of us are insomniacs. We're on antidepressants, anti-anxiety pills. So our diets are poor. We're not exercising regularly. So there's so much in combination that we're not doing that our bodies were designed to do. And so that's basically my message today. Nutrition, while you may be out of balance, if you find yourself in that place, nutrition is extremely important, because there are alternatives to antidepressants, anti-anxiety meds. There are alternatives to that. I'll give you an example. 2 handfuls of cashews. So let's back up for a second. Cashews contain tryptophan. When we consume tryptophan, the body turns tryptophan into serotonin. Serotonin is the neurotransmitter in our brains that is the happiness chemical. It helps us focus and have, be happy and find joy and fulfillment in things. When our serotonin levels are low, that's when many of us are either becoming depressed or have been depressed, and then the serotonin, it kind of goes back and forth. But the point is, when you consume even just 2 handfuls of cashews a day, that is equivalent to the prescription dose of an antidepressant. So if that's all you have to do sometimes, wouldn't that be easier and full of less side effects than taking an antidepressant? Now, I'm not knocking antidepressants, but what I'm saying is there are other alternatives. So your mental health is extremely important, because if you have a bad day, if that bad day, and maybe that bad day, you can shake it off the next day and say, oh, okay, I'm fine. It's only situational for that particular day or something. But let's say that bad day turns into a bad week, and then that bad week turns into a couple of bad weeks, and that turns into a bad month, and then a couple of bad months. And now you're in this depressive state. The chemicals in your brain are actually starting to change, and your attitude is affected by that. How you see your external environment. and your response to experiences and actions of others, and it starts to affect your external world. And then that external world affects, as a result, affects your internal world. So now you've kind of become, you were maybe this positive person, and now you're kind of this negative person. So, you kind of turned the wheel, and now you're kind of in a constant depressive state. And when you're in that depressive state, it starts a cycle. Well, I'm depressed, so maybe you are an emotional eater, and so you eat poor food, and then that poor food makes you feel bad, and then you feel bad for eating that bad food, and then you get mad at yourself, so you eat more bad food, and then you're more depressed. And so it's just this constant continuous cycle. So while it's important to seek professional help in some cases, not all cases, for your mental health and emotional health, it's all equally as important to understand that food plays an extremely important role in that emotional and mental health. And the foods that help you get to better mental and emotional states are fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, water, anything from the plant kingdom, basically. I personally consume a plant-based diet. However, I know not everybody does, and that's perfectly fine. I work with a lot of people who don't. Most of my clients don't. But I'm not de-stressing the animal kingdom, but I'm stressing the vegetable and plant kingdom. They contain so many important minerals and vitamins that affect the chemicals and physiological processes throughout our bodies to help us get to those better balanced states. Now, again, this is only one piece of it. The other, not the other, but one of the other pieces is, start asking yourself, are you truly happy in life? Are you doing what you want to be doing? Do you spend your time wisely and with the people you want to be spending your time with? All of these things affect your mental and emotional health. It's not just food. It's not just physical. So in conclusion of this Heart Healthy month and this last week of the month, I very much encourage you to find what your balance is. Maybe it's not working 80 hours a week like I used to. Maybe it's only working 20 or 30 hours a week. Maybe it's doing something completely different from what you went to college for, or the years you've spent at a particular company. And we only get one shot at this life, so make it count, make it fulfilling, make it happy. Find what fills your soul. And because if you find what fills your soul, you will be rewarded infinitely, because the people around you will benefit from it. Your work will benefit from it. Your health will benefit from it. And every person you touch in your life will benefit from it. And so get healthy mentally, emotionally. Start taking yoga classes. Start meditating. Start going to church. Whatever it is that speaks to you. I encourage you tremendously to find what that balance is. And you will see positive results. I promise you. So thank you for your time. Thank you for watching and hopefully participating in some of the other videos or live chats that you experienced this month. And we hope you keep coming back to the Y, because the members are really important to the communities, and we really appreciate all your support. So thank you and God bless.